Hello everybody, Archer with a sword here. It's very spooky and dark in here. That's perfect for recording the next episode of Heroes 101, which is Batman. I'm super excited for this because it's our first DC episode. We've been talking a lot about Marvel characters and now we're switching to the DC. I'm here with my friend, teacher, and director, Naem.
Hello.
So Naem, we are talking about Batman.
Batman.
So I'm going to ask you, why do you like Batman?
I like Batman because he is not your conventional hero. And he was one of the first heroes that was introduced to me that kind of bent the term hero because he is very much so in what he does a lawbreaker himself. He's a vigilante. And another reason I like Batman is that he's kind of like an ordinary... I guess not really ordinary. He's extraordinary in what he does, but it's the villains that he has and his supporting cast that he has around him that sort of makes him so much different than any other hero that exists in any comic ever. So I like the fact that he's a lawbreaker himself and that he takes the law into his own hands, and that's his constant battle of, I have a code and I don't kill people, but that's a unique aspect of a hero, and that's one that, they haven't really touched on in other heroes, and I like the fact that he has such amazing characters around him that make him look so incredible.
What was your first introduction to him?
For sure, it was the Batman animated series.
Right here.
Right there.
Yeah!
And you know what? If everyone talks about, well, who's the perfect Batman? Who's the perfect Joker?
Mm-hmm.
The perfect Batman is Kevin Conroy.
Yes.
And the perfect Joker is Mark Hamill. There's no getting around that. Their voices captured the characters perfectly. There's no other person, there's no other voice, there's no other likeness that I associate with the best other than Batman the Animated Series. And that's partially for nostalgic reasons. That's partially because that's what I grew up with. And that would be my first experience with Batman, was the Batman Animated Series. It was actually the episode with the Mad Hatter.
Oh, my favorite.
Where they hack him into, or he hacks into some kind of matrix or something like that, and it's into some kind of reality where Bruce's parents lived. And they're trying to convince him that, no, this what are you talking about, this whole Batman thing? But the whole thing is like the Mad Hatter trying to invade the psyche of Bruce Wayne and take him down from the inside. That was a really cool episode.
It made me so sad, too. It made me sad because,
because he had this moment where he was so conflicted. He was like, did I imagine this whole thing? Are my parents really alive? And that was one of the, for it being the first episode, it really toyed with my my whole mind frame of, oh my gosh, what if this is reality? And the episode almost took me for a sec before I realized, no, this has got to be some villain that's playing a trick on him or something.
So if Kevin Conroy is your favorite animated voice actor, then who would be your favorite actor? And who would be your least favorite? Who has portrayed Batman?
I think everyone can agree that the worst actor who has ever played Batman, and I think this actor holds this opinion as well, because he just was not utilized properly, was George Clooney. He was not given the proper resources. I mean, he was given a freaking bat suit with nipples.
Yep.
And he even talks about how, the direction that they took the character and what they gave the character in the writing and the kind of the cast, that supporting cast that I was talking about that makes Batman so amazing. They hadn't written these characters well at all. Joel Schumacher basically just made this almost Happy Meal version of Batman so that production companies could sell toys through McDonald's, and it was the whole thing was just a disaster. And I think George Clooney, I'm sorry, George Clooney, if you're watching this, I'm not knocking your acting ability.
You're
amazing.
Actor.
You're a great actor, but I'm sure you agree, Batman just wasn't your thing.
Yeah.
And I'd have to say my favorite actor to ever portray the Batman, and it has to be the physical actor, Christian Bale is just perfect. He's perfect for the role. What I did not like about Christian Bale
was it the voice?
Is the voice.
Yeah.
I think he was the perfect Bruce Wayne. I thought Bruce Wayne, he is made for that character.
Yeah.
His physical, his build was perfect for that character. I just thought he went too far with the guttural noise for Batman.
He didn't.
So I'd have to say the best Bruce Wayne was by far and away Christian Bale.
Yeah.
The best Batman, there are elements of Val Kilmer's Batman, not really in the writing, but that really captured the character well. I really You can't knock Michael Keaton's Batman, though. I have to say he's got to be my favorite overall Batman.
And Bruce Wayne.
And Bruce Wayne. It's got to be Michael Keaton. Yeah.
I agree. Michael Keaton, I don't know. I was introduced to Michael Keaton as Batman, and then I watched, in school, what was it? I believe it was Much Ado About Nothing, Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing, where he plays Dogberry. Mm-hmm. And he plays this super comedic, super, jackass, and I don't know, I'm just like, oh my gosh, you can do it all. Let's see Michael Keaton.
And what's funny about Michael Keaton's Batman, and they didn't figure out how to do this until the second time Christian Bale played Batman, was the bat suit. I mean, the actors would literally have to piss themselves. Like when you have the suit, you're not getting out of that suit until you're done shooting. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that can be 12 hours, sometimes that can be 18 hours. You know, they're pretty full days and you also have this movement where you can't look down. You have to look down like this, and you have to look to the side and up like this.
I think the whole purpose of that was for dramatic effect also, because they didn't want Batman to go like, he wanted him to be like,
Yep.
It was fantastic. So there are just some heroes that you can easily relate to, and then there are some heroes that are created where you're like, wow, I'm nothing like that, but it's what I aspire to be. How do you think some people can relate to Batman? Or if you can even relate to him, because he's so... I don't know.
Gosh, I mean, I'll tell you the way in which I relate to Batman. I think everyone exists in society knowing one fatal truth about themselves. Mm-hmm. And this fatal truth is what keeps them from their happiness, or what keeps them from this or that. You know, a lot of people suffer from some sort of ailment, be it their own anxiety, their own walls that they build up around themselves, or they suffer from the issues that the world creates for them. And Batman sort of suffers from them both. So I'd say we can relate to Batman in that way. But I think we all can relate to Batman in that we have to find our own version of success. And sometimes that version of success, or that version of what I want to do that makes me happy, you have to improvise a little bit. Mm-hmm. So, because, I mean, you're not Bruce Wayne sitting home in a mansion, crossing your legs with brandy or whatever, thinking, how do I seek self-fulfillment? No, you're stuck in the well and you're realizing, I'm so deathly afraid of these bats. I'm so deathly afraid of everything that's happening around me. No, wait a minute. I can conquer this fear. And by conquering this fear, I can use this fear to conquer others, or conquer Gotham's dirt and their criminals. And I think we can all relate to that sense of, okay, we're not going to find success in a normal way. We kind of have to go crazy a little bit in order to find our own way of happiness. And, you know, I think everyone's a little psychotic. Everyone's a little crazy in their own way. And I think we can all relate to Batman in that aspect of his life.
I love that. That's awesome. The next question is, who's your favorite Bat family member? Like, the families, I don't know, the whole Bat family just, it won't stop growing. They're like bat rabbits. They do not stop growing.
Okay.
Bruce Wayne does not stop adopting people.
I see. So you're asking me like Damian Wayne or
Dick Grayson,
or like his adopted family.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking like, who's your favorite Batman family member? And I'm like, well, I only got to see Thomas Wayne for so long, but I did have that whole second story arc where Thomas Wayne became the Batman and Martha Wayne became the Joker, and Bruce died. So I mean, that was pretty cool, and Batman was portrayed, I think, super accurately in that. So if I had to say my best family member, like biological family, Thomas Wayne, whenever he survived, and I thought Thomas Wayne when he was alive was a pretty good dad, and he defended the best way he could his family from a criminal, albeit unsuccessfully. My favorite Batman family member, though, or that he considers within, and I'm going to get a lot of crap for this.
We'll see.
Ever since I saw the Red Hood, I thought, you know, that's a conflicted character. Jason Todd was given a lot at a very
Why are you
young
going to get crap for this?
age.
Jason Todd's an amazing character.
Well, because a lot of people don't like Jason Todd. I happen to believe Jason Todd is the best Robin, and I think that a lot of Robin fans will be like, oh, Dick Grayson is so much better. I'm blanking on his the third Robin.
Tim Drake.
Tim Drake. Oh, Tim Drake was like perfectly manicured to be Robin.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, those are really good Robins, but I think kind of like what I was saying earlier with my answer for why how we can all relate to Batman is everyone's got baggage. And Jason Todd, man, like, lost his life because of one of Batman's mistakes. And I thought he was the most talented Robin. I thought he was the flashiest Robin, which I kind of like.
His way of like talking to Bruce Wayne too, like his whole snark and cynicism. Like, all right, Tim Drake absolutely like adored the ground that Bruce Wayne walked on. Dick Grayson saw him as a father.
Yeah.
And at one point Jason did too, but then it was just like, I don't care anymore. I don't care. You're just.
Well, it's almost like the symbiotic connection, too, with Star Wars, because, you have, like, the mentor who tries to lead a very troubled boy into, I can teach you all these great abilities, and I can, we can do this, and then he kind of falls to the dark side, and then he says, no, I'm going to take the law into my own hands. I'm going to do the one thing that you can't do, Batman, and that's kill the pieces of crap that run Gotham.
Yep.
And I think in that way, he's better than Batman, but then Batman is also better than him for being more virtuous and sticking to his guns and to his code.
I agree. I like that. So, this is the last question, by the way. Who is your favorite romantic interest for Batman? If you had to play Cupid.
See, I always thought that that the romantic side of or the every time they tried to couple Batman with a character or whatever, that it always bogged him down. Like, there was a lot of flack recently with it was the sex scene that they did in.
Well, but that's because it was like Barbara Gordon.
It was Barbara Gordon, right? And they kind of took all this creative liberty, and it's like, I think the one thing that drags Batman down as a character is giving him a romantic interest. I think, and I'm not saying that they're like I'd say if it's anyone, it's got to be Talia. Although I do, and I adore the romance between Batman and Catwoman. I think they have something really cool going on. Although I'm not sure how much of that is just my own personal fantasy. As if I were Batman, I would go for the Catwoman, because the Catwoman is, I think, one of the sexiest anti-heroes
she is.
that
She's one of
ever existed.
If you guys know me, I don't like female characters. I don't know, just the way that they're written sometimes in hero, comics or movies is just like, oh my gosh, stop. But Catwoman is just like the yes, like the yes, be the strong, independent woman.
Yeah. And I like Cat. So I keep flip flopping. It's kind of like a tie between Talia and Catwoman. Although now that I think about it, Catwoman's got to be number one, and Talia's number two. So I'll go with Catwoman. I love her abilities. Her abilities are really freaking awesome.
See, I've always liked it because I agree with what you're saying about the romance, how it kind of ties him down. But that's where the romance between Catwoman and Batman works, is because they both don't tie themselves down to each other. It's kind of like it's an every now and then thing that they go back to, each other and just like, oh, hey, you're here.
Yeah.
You want a kiss?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's the thing is, like, both with Talia and with Catwoman, it's such a forbidden love. It's got that forbidden love kind of like, oh, we shouldn't be doing this, but it feels so right, but it's so wrong.
But at the same time, Talia pushes it like, no, you're destined to do this. You're destined, to marry me and, take my father's mantle. Yeah. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah. Going back, I'd say the most powerful Robin. So, like, my favorite was Jason Todd. Back to Robin. The most powerful Robin is definitely Dick Grayson. I think
powerful in the sense that what sense? Like powerful.
If you took all of the Robins, put them in one room, and made them fight, I think Dick Grayson would probably find a way to win.
You don't think Damian Wayne would win?
Damian Wayne did he use the Lazarus Pit at all? No,
yes.
It was Dick Grayson. No, it was Jason Todd who used
Todd and Damian Wayne. Damian Wayne also was killed and was brought back by the Lazarus Pit.
But that's the thing, is Batman has taken down people, like, countless times who have gone through the Lazarus Pit, including Jason Todd, Ra's al Ghul, and I think that Dick Grayson is Batman's pure model student. It is.
That's true.
If Batman died, the only person who could accurately and actually do a good job take up the cowl. If we were going in like a Batman is the president and Robin is vice president. Yeah. I'd say Dick Grayson.
And they did. Whenever Batman went missing, Dick Grayson took the mantle.
Okay, cool.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
So this has been another episode of Heroes 101 with my friend Naem.
Hey, actually, can I ask you a question?
Me?
Yes.
Okay.
What is your favorite Batman comic?
Naem.
What?
Naem!
What? Did I ask the wrong question?
I haven't read it.
Oh.
Well, I've read one. It was an old one that Leo Kemp brought in. You saw him in the Spider-Man episode.
Can I recommend a comic to you then?
You can. I'm looking for comics to read.
Hush. Read Hush.
Yeah.
Hush is good.
I had a friend who recommended that to me as well.
Yep.
You guys, if you haven't read Hush, read Hush along with me. I will be reading it, hopefully, and we'll talk about it maybe.
Yeah. What's up?
Thank you so much for being on. I hope you enjoyed yourself as much as I enjoyed myself.
I enjoyed myself quite a bit.
You too as well. And we will see you guys next time.